everyone. Welcome to KICKLIGHTER'S TV Funerals. I'm Carol KICKLIGHTER, and we're here tonight for the funeral of Dan Rosensweet. You know, there's another TV show out there. Never watched it, but I saw it on the TV guide once. It's called Dirty Jobs. Tonight I feel like I have a dirty job. Because for those of you who have been watching at home, you might know, for a long time now, I've wanted a friend. I've been very, very lonely. And all I wanted was someone by my side. And then came Dan. And Dan was my friend for about a week. And then he died. And now here I am, hosting his TV funeral. So this is going to be a hard one for me. This isn't no slice of cake here. But, you know, the professional does their job. So I'm going to try it, because I see a lot of people here tonight who I guess Dan must have been your friend too. So, yeah, if someone would like to come up and you can speak and say some words to Dan and say goodbye. Whoever would like to come first. Thank you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I'm sorry. Dan told me that if he ever went, that he wanted me to sing this song to him, and I said, sure, I love singing. And now, in light of the spontaneous, if you will, combustion, I'd like to sing a different song. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCartney, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. Yeah, we didn't want it, but we tried to hide it. Thanks for everything, Dan. Keep feeling the burn.
What happens to the song in your heart when the player is gone? I'm trying to figure that out. Whoever would like to speak next?
Hi. I prepared something.
I wish we could have been prepared for this.
Yeah, okay.
Spontaneous.
Dan was the best friend. And when I say best friend, I don't mean like on a tier of best friends with other people. I mean he was the best friend. I met him within the first few weeks of freshman year, and before I knew what had happened, he was coming downstairs in the morning to help me decide whether I liked what I was wearing. He'd walk in and I'd immediately say, "Do we like this?" And he'd sometimes say yes, and sometimes he'd suggest something else. We'd walk around always together, developing a sort of Will and Grace thing. And sometimes he was Will and I was Grace. And sometimes I was Will and he was Grace. But one time our friend asked us, exasperated, if we practiced our shtick while everyone was asleep at night. And I liked that idea. I liked the idea that I complimented someone so well that people thought we practiced it. I had a hard time getting dressed for this funeral because usually you wear black to funerals, and that's my favorite thing about them. But Dan hated black and gray and anything neutral and boring. He had more patterns and colors and neons and prints than I knew existed, and sometimes I made fun of him for it, but it was really the best way he could let people know what he was about before they'd even talk to him. Energetic and fun and clever and always capturing attention and holding it and never letting you regret giving it to him. He was so goddamn funny. Probably the wittiest and quickest person I'd ever met, and I think that's why I fell in love with him so fast. There was no delight like watching Dan do an impression, and one of the saddest parts about that, I think, is that no one could do an impression of him. I tried, but usually I'd come out with something like, "What, honey?" And it was no good. He was a hard person to capture with just a few words and by dropping your voice a few octaves. He was a friend so loyal and compassionate, it made you kind of wonder how the charismatic kid always making people laugh could also be the friend that listened for a long time and with an uncanny precision came up with logical solutions to your worst concerns, accompanied by a plan of immediate action and a long, genuine hug. And within minutes, he'd gradually slip back into his identity as your favorite, funniest friend. He was fluid like that, capable of being all the best parts of people as one person. He was my favorite person in the whole world, and I'm gonna miss him very, very much.
Yeah, he was pretty great, right? Someone else, come on up. Thank you.
Hi, is this okay? Hello, everyone. I am the artist formerly known as Christ with a Q. I gave up my practice when I learned that you all knew the deceased as Dan Rosensweet. I knew the deceased as my beloved drag daughter, Clown with Glasses. I first met her when I was walking, sort of sashaying down the street, if you will, and a clown car, a little clown car, wee yay high, came careening, rocketing down the street at an inconceivable speed and slammed into a bridal shop. Now, in the deluge of blood and squeaky noses and rainbow hair and tacky veils, I picked up from the carnage this beautiful creature, and she looked up at me with her foundation that was 2 shades darker than her skin tone and her very glossy lipstick that she hadn't patted, and she said, "Paint me, mother." To which I said, "All right." And now to see her once again lying in such a mismatched array of textures, prints, hues of different coolnesses, it is with a heavy heart that I say goodbye to not only campus darling, Bernie Sanders truther, and Muppet enthusiast Dan Rosensweet, but burgeoning entertainer and alcoholic Clown with Glasses. If I may, I just want to send her home up to the big gathering of the juggalos in the sky with some words I know that she would appreciate. Your makeup is terrible. Thank you. God rest her soul. Vote Bernie.
I didn't even know Dan was into that kind of stuff. Because I didn't know him for too long, but he was my friend. And now here he is. Thank you. Someone else. Yeah.
So, I think a lot of people have touched on the. Sorry about this. A lot of people have touched.
Pretty disrespectful.
So, a lot of people have touched on the fact that probably the most admirable quality that this boy had is that he had a sense of humor that just couldn't be beat. And I'm not going to argue with that here. I'm not in a place to combat that, and I actually agree with it. But I think something that really should be addressed is sometimes the funniest people have the darkest side. There's so many famous comedians that have just ended up being the most horrible, depressing, awful people. So I thought it would be a shame if we didn't celebrate every side to Dan Rosensweet. And so earlier when I heard of his death, I went looking through his records to find some of his old work. I found this poem that he wrote. It took him 2 days to write it. And he was staying in a condo in Martha's Vineyard. It's called Hear the Raindrops. So soft, sweet sounds. Drip, drop, drip. I stare outside and view the darkness. Drip, drop, drip. They told me to believe a rain party was happening. Drip, drop, drip. Listen to the beats. 1, 2, 3. Drip, 1. Drop, 2. Drip, 3. Ever wonder if you're out there? Mama told me shadows play at night. Then Mama, why is my shadow here? Mama said shadows can't get wet. If so, then why can I see my shadow outside? In the dark, to disappear, and light to show up. You can't trust them all. On the other hand, Mama always told me, be careful when alone. From that moment on, I still wonder, is it safe at night? When the rain stops, what happens next? So, dear sweet, blissful darkness, have your soft and whispery rain rock me to sleep. Dream me a dream, rain. Rain, please wake me up with kind words. Rain soft as a kitten's fur. Rain calm like a mother's shoulder should be.
I think if I had to write a poem for the deceased, it would go as follows. Dan, I'm so sad you blew up. Wow. I miss you. No. It's not about me. It's about Dan. If someone else would like to come speak. Yeah. Thank you. That was really disrespectful.
Namyo Renge Kyo. Namyo Renge Kyo. Namyo Renge Kyo. Thank you.
Didn't quite get that. As far as I knew, Dan was an American. But, okay. Whoever else would, somebody else?
"43 consecutive internships at the Letterman Show." Guys, give it up.
Come on. Come on.
Waka waka indeed. Whew. Well, I lived with Dan this year. Not other year, this year. This particular year. And, well, I'll tell you what. It's really sad that Dan decided to spontaneously combust. You know, just in the heat of in the heat of the moment, he kind of just blew up. And I'll tell you what, this hat looks great on me. And it would not have looked as good on Dan, but Dan looks great as he is right now. Sadly dead, but I'll tell you what, he looked great all the time. And I think, yes, and I think, I think Dan's not going to heaven, nor going to hell. But he's going to Georgia. Going to Georgia. Going to Georgia.
Thanks. Come on. So somebody else. Somebody else now.
Been doing a lot of these lately.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Yeah, tell me about it. I feel like every week I see another friend die. But me and Dan had a different kind of thing going on. He did a little gag at my funeral, which I swear just feels like yesterday, where he did something about us being lovers, right? Was that what it was?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He doesn't play along. But I'd like to get 3 numbers, and then I'd like to get 3 numbers, and then I'd like to get 4 numbers. Because the weird thing is that during my whole time knowing Dan, when he was alive, when I was alive, when I was dead, when he's dead, I never got Dan's phone number. That's just true. You can check in my contacts. You can go to I'll do that. I didn't plan this out. I feel like an idiot. I never got his phone number. I would message him through Facebook. I'd see him around the campus, run into him, and he was wearing big old headphones, probably listening to some dumb music. But not once. I never asked for it. He never asked for mine. It was just one of those type of deals. If you go into, I got Andrew Rosario, who I went to high school with, and I got Justin Rose. I don't even know who he is. And I've got Sarah Rosenblatt. Oh, but Rosensweet comes after that. And then I've got Tia Rouse. So not a Rosensweet in sight. So anyone who's in the know, can I hear the first 3 numbers of Dan's phone number? That's just not true. But happy 420, Okay. 420? 1. Can I get a 1? 917. 757. 5824. Now I want anyone that has his. You're telling me that in death he don't even bother to turn his phone off? Can you get the microphone over here? Yeah, I hear it all right. He won't bother with it because he's dead.
Let it go to voicemail.
It's a buffalo and see, it's not. Anybody want this? Hello? Hey. Who is this? Just at my buddy's funeral. I'm sorry, who is this? His name is Dan Rosensweet. He was a.
Who are you? Who is it?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, bye.
You can keep that.
Once the phone is dead, we don't have anything left.
But I want everyone to text, to tweet, to Facebook message, or just give a good old-fashioned phone call. # I'm with her. 1-917-757-5824. For the boy who loved Hillary more than anyone I've ever met in my life. Thank you, D. Rosensweet, and now I finally have your number.
Once that phone is dead, he's gone. We don't have anything. We don't have anything. Does anyone else wanna speak? Anyone at all? Last chance, and then nope. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Last one.
Sorry. Hi. My name is Matt. I don't go here, but
Well, this is just a TV station.
yeah. Dan was one of the first.
Hey. You're not allowed to touch bodies. And if anybody's touching this body, it's me.
Yeah, don't doubt that. This is disgusting.
All this time.
That's sexy.
Does anyone else want to speak? Anyone?
Show his bod. 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 Show his bod.
Show his broad shoulders.
We like Roy.
Carol thought this would happen until the cameras were off.
He was my friend. Listen. Listen. No. Listen, this is not happening right now. This is not happening right now. This is not happening right now, okay? Silence in my funeral home. Now, listen. I was so alone. I was so alone. And all I wanted was a friend. And then Can we please? I was so alone and all I wanted was a friend, and then I met Dan. And he was very nice to me. And like you all said, he was very funny. And every week in, week out, I've got a dead body 2 feet away from me. And I'm seeing people come in and talk about how sad they are and how a little bit of the light has gone out of their life. And then I meet Dan. And he brings more light into my life than I ever thought was possible. And we only met a week ago. But in that week, we had so much fun. And we did a lot of fun activities. We went on a roller coaster. And we went fishing. And we rode go-karts. But I think the most fun that I had.
You killed him.
I didn't!
You killed him.
I didn't fucking kill him!
You killed him. Oh my god.
You want to see me fucking kill somebody? Hey, no, shut the fuck up, Carol. Sorry. I'm talking.
Don't kill the baby boy.
I'm talking. Most fun I ever had. You want to hear it? Yeah, you're gonna listen. God damn it. Most fun I ever had in my whole miserable, sorry, pathetic excuse for a life was standing in line with this man for the roller coasters and fish truck because oh, when you're doing that with a friend, I guess I learned you talk and you tell jokes. And I remember this man saying, "Hey, what's the big deal with wind? Huh? Where did that come from? How does wind?" You had to be there, but the point was, it made the time pass, and it was funny, and somebody mentioned heaven earlier. And I think that if there is a heaven, what it's going to be is waiting in line forever with the people you love. And thank you, Dan. And I love you. And I love you so much.
You killed him.
I love you. I love you. And thank you. And I'm going to wait for a little while.
Killed him with love.
I'm going to wait for a little while to wait with him forever. And we can never stop waiting. Goodbye, Dan. I don't know what's going to happen next week, because this is the first, it's never going to be the same. But thank you, Dan.
Wake me up when Carol
Thank you, Dan. And good night, everyone. Good night.
Everyone now, go, leave, it's over.